Hey guys, thank you for joining the Flying Stephanie 615. Hello, hello. Well, I came to talk to you guys tonight live. Hope you're with me. Hope you're with me. Tonight we're talking about paychecks. Flight attendant pay. That's what we're finna talk about. We're gonna have a real conversation. And I gotta pour some wine for this one because this is first year pay at that. You know what? Let me slip into something a little bit more comfortable. I'll be right back. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. So I've been getting a lot of questions about. I didn't think I needed to be in my uniform while I'm trying to sip on wine with y'all. So let me get comfy and I'll be right there. But conversation about first year flight attendant pay. Now, I've had some questions like, how do you guys make it on, such little, here I am, such little pay. And I just want to encourage you guys to, I don't want you to give up on the career just because I don't want you to give up because the paycheck might not look the way you had hoped. You might be telling yourself when you get that paycheck, you're going to buy you a Louis Vuitton, a Gucci, or some of that kind of nonsense. But I can tell y'all, you're going to have to save your coins to make that happen right away. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's going to take a little time. So you will have to learn how to really be frugal. You'll have to learn how to pack your lunch. I'm a big lunch packer. I like to take my dinner. Everything I could do to try to save my coins because we got bills we got to pay. Thankfully, I have a husband who's very supportive and has made it a lot easier for me to decide to do this career change because I had a completely different career for some years before I decided to do this, but I really wanted to do it. And so he encouraged me to get out there and try. So the pay is not that wonderful in the very beginning, but you do get raises. And we don't get paid like every hour, even if we have like a 15-hour day, which happens often. You still won't, like on typical jobs where you may get $10 an hour or something like that. Our pay isn't that way. Our pay is based on flight hours. So typically, like if I'm gone for 4 or 5 days, and I'm home for maybe 2, 3 if I'm really lucky, a lot of people will get side jobs. I have a hair and a nail salon here, so at home, and I am a commuter, and so I will sometimes go and work in my salon. It's so good. I'll go work at my salon sometimes and make a little extra. And that's how some people will make ends meet in the very beginning. I personally, I did that for like the first year and I wore myself out trying to fly and then come home and work in the salon. It leaves no time for friends and family and for my husband. And so for me, I decided that, I would just have to learn how to cut some things out of my life that weren't very important. Like, I love to eat out. So I cut back on that kind of stuff. I love some TJ Maxx and some Target. I had to cut back on that. It's not to say you can't shop. You just have to know how to shop. You have to know where to shop. And I also realized as much as I was flying, I didn't get an opportunity really to wear the clothes that I had. So I'd go and buy all this stuff, these new shoes and stuff like that when I could. And even on my layovers, sometimes I go buy stuff. But you find that if you're flying, you're not really wearing it. So your new things will last you a whole lot longer. So that's one good thing to look forward to. You won't need as much as what you think you need because you're in uniform, probably 75% of the time. So think of it that way. I don't want to tell y'all like exactly what I made because if you're pursuing this career by now, you should have some idea of what each airline pays. The ones that you're interested in anyway. If you want to know more, you can always comment below, or you can always send me a private message or something like that, and I'll be happy to talk with you. But yeah, don't get discouraged though, just because the pay might not be like what you're used to, because I promise you it does get better. I've had so many flight attendants that have told me, if you can just hang in there till you get to 5 years and stuff like that. And I'm like, 5 years? What's a sister supposed to do till then? I gotta live. I gotta eat now, So don't get discouraged. Keep hanging there. Figure out what you can do to make it work if this is the career that you really want, because it's really a lot of fun and you do find creative ways to save your money and be able to survive. If you have a car and you have a car note now, if it's feasible for you, try to pay some of those things down before you head off to go to training. If you're thinking about pursuing this career and you know that you're going to be going to training soon, put some money away. Have you a couple of months, as much as you can. I don't want to tell you what you need to have, but you put away what you can afford to put away for a couple of months. And this way you'll have something that you can kind of pull from as things begin to get tough. You'll have uniforms that you'll have to purchase. Some companies will give you uniforms and then they will pull it out of your paycheck every month until it's paid for. If you don't have to buy all the pieces that they are telling you that you have available to you, don't. There is a plethora of places and people that are willing to help new hires, and they will just donate things to you. Or maybe you have to buy it, but it's for a fraction of the cost. And then you're not having to pay for it for 6 months, a year, or however long it takes to pay off the pieces that you've purchased. When you're looking to pursue this career, if you know that you're going to need luggage, go to Goodwill and buy luggage. Buy it from previous flight attendants. Buy a decent suitcase, but buy what you need. Buy what it's required of you. But you don't have to go out and buy expensive travel pro luggage in the very beginning, because you got to think about it. You want to make sure you pass first. And you don't want to end up with a ton of stuff that you may not need. Or if you don't make it through this training program and you end up going through another training program, and now you have something that you thought you might need for this particular airline, now you're going someplace else and they require something different. So now what are you going to do with this? So if possible, wait until the very last second till you know that you're going, till you know that you're graduating. And because they do give you some time between training, graduation, and when you have to be out there on the line. Shoes, I would recommend getting those when you go to training. One, because you need a compliant shoe for training. Two, you want to break that shoe in and make sure that it's appropriate for you to be able to walk up and down the terminal and onto the aircraft and all that stuff, and that it's the shoe for you. Don't spend a ton of money again on that. go to discount places and buy it. Or, maybe you find someone who's bought a shoe and they thought the shoe was wonderful for them. And then they quickly found out, like me, I figured out that the shoe that I had bought, probably 3 days into wearing it in training, I was like, this shoe is not going to work for me. It's not comfortable. So, now I've got, $60, $70 invested in this shoe that's probably going to sit in my closet unless somebody else wants to buy it. So think about those things. Don't overbuy, don't overdo before you go to training. For the most part, they're going to provide for you everything that they want you to have. Some of the other things, like, of course, your wardrobe, that's up to you, but you probably already have stuff that's in your closet. So, back to this paycheck thing. It's not a lot of money in the very beginning. It'll take you some time to kind of reevaluate and figure out how you can make it work. You'll probably have roommates when you graduate. You'll probably do something like a crash pad, or you and some of your good friends may find an apartment that you'd rather share. I personally never did a crash pad. It is not for me. I'm too old for that. I cannot live with 20 people. I'm sorry. I'm too old for that. So, luckily, a few of us from my class, there were 8 of us, we found a condo, and we had like a 5-bedroom condo, and we were able to do about 2 to a room. And as people sort of transferred out, we had fewer people, but we had a lot of space, and it was the best situation possible for us. And we ended up paying about $250 a month. And we probably had about $40, I would say, in utilities and other things that we needed, but it was very reasonable, and it was a great situation. But that's the last time I did something like that. Not because, I would be happy to do a situation like that again where I am now. I'm based in Dulles, in DC. I just haven't found the proper situation for me. And we have a family friend that I've been able to stay with for a couple of months. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity. So coming up soon, I'm going to have to figure out, what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. It'll all come together. But number one, I don't want you guys to get discouraged about the career, because somebody may tell you, oh, your first paycheck may only be $900. It could be $1,200. It could be $1,500. That all depends on how much you fly. Number one, I don't like to fly that much because I like to be at home with my husband. So, but if crew scheduling calls me, I don't have the choice because I am a reserve. So typically, like, my schedule will be, let's see if I can find a copy of my schedule real quick, if y'all got some time to hang with me. But usually I work about 4 days. Let's see. I usually work about 4 days, and then I'm off for like 2 or 3. Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. I don't know if I'll be able to find it quick enough. Let's see if I can show y'all this. I'm usually about 4 days on. Let's see. Get to the right month here. Well, I can't pull it up because it's telling me right now I don't have anything on my schedule really to show you. Okay, here. Let's see. I'm not even totally sure you're going to be able to see this. Can you? I don't think it's a clear enough shot for you, but So I'll just try to explain it to you as best I can. In January and February, I did something called a job share. And what that means is scheduling gives me and another flight attendant the same schedule. So you take 30 days or 31 days out of the month, and we are scheduled to work 19 days out of the month. We can split that schedule however we see fit. So what we did was she took the first part of the month, I took the second part of the month. So basically, I worked 10 days, she worked 9 days out of the month, and then that's it. So out of those days, like you can't work but so many days without a break in between. So I chose to do like 4 days, then I would take 2 days off or three. Then I would come back and I would do 2 days, and then I have 3 days off, and then I come back and maybe do 3 days, to make up my 9 or 10 days. And the reason I did mine that way, and some people will stack all their days together, and that's cool too. But I like to go home in between my trips. If I can go home about every 4 days, that works best for me. And my commute is not that hard. So, you know, because I only work like 10 days out of the month for that month, my paycheck was not very substantial at all. But with that said, when I'm off work, I'm coming home. I'm either going to go work in my salon or I'm just going to chill and do things at home. So I'm not out like spending much money either. But on a month where I'm working my full 19 days, of course, my paycheck is a little better. A lot of people will pick up trips on their days off. I don't do that because I want to go home. If I lived where I am based, that'd be a whole different story. I might would do that because I don't have to worry about commuting and things like that. So those are, things that you have to really think about what's best for you and work it to the best of your ability. I really don't have much else to talk to y'all about tonight. I just wanted to kind of shed a little light on the paycheck situation. My first paycheck was like under $1,000, my very first check. And that was for, we get paid twice a month. And so depending on what things you have that need to come out of that money, that could be okay for you and it may not be. I really can't call that. But I don't want you to give up on pursuing this career as a flight attendant. But don't do it for the money. I mean, we do make decent money eventually, but do it because you love it. Because there's going to be some days where you feel like I should be getting paid because we're delayed. As a reserve, we don't have those protections like line holders do. So you might be delayed for a long time and your pay is going to be whatever your pay was going to be, whether you go and you take off quickly or you're delayed for 2 or 3 hours. We don't have those protections as a reserve. So there's going to be some days where you're going to feel like, wow, I'm not really being paid well for my time. And if you think of it that way, then it will be tough for you. But you end up having so much fun with your crew members. You end up having so much fun with your passengers, people that you meet. And then your layovers, they can be really nice. Or you might just decide you just want to get some rest on this layover. So there's a lot of pluses to the job. There are some minuses, but it's that way with any career that you pursue. So just keep your head up. I need some feedback from you guys. I really want to keep giving you good content, but let me know what you'd like for me to talk about. Leave that comment below. Please subscribe, please like, and please share. Thank you for hanging out with the Flying Stephanie 615. I got a hot bath waiting for me. I'm going to finish this wine and I'm going to bed. And I will hopefully be back sometime later in the week with you guys. But please tell me what you'd like me to talk about. And we will go from there. And I will talk with you next time. Thanks for joining me. Have a good night, guys.